All right, welcome back everyone for another video. And this time we are going to be looking at Daredevil. I've been waiting to do this one um, as this is one of my favorites that managed to get my hands on in 2024. It actually arrived December 31st, so it definitely fits the criteria of being in my top 5 figures of 2024. So this is the Netflix Daredevil, and I've had him in the same pose since I got him, and so we'll take a closer look at what he has, what he comes with, and talk about why I went with this version as opposed to the one that came with She-Hulk. Um, so right now we have the box showing. I love the art that it comes with. The red just fits perfectly. Comes with that braille that we saw also on the Punisher. So yeah, it's a nice looking box. It fits the character. So let's move this aside and flip the light on. And that's the pose I have him on currently. And I really like that the the little diorama piece. It's not a huge piece, but it's pretty nice. So right now I have him standing without a stand, actually, looking like he's taking a step down. So let's rotate him a little bit. So it's pretty cool that he can actually hold this pose without a stand. So I really like that, given that it'll keep the suit integrity intact. Um, there's not much you can do anyway with a crotch grabber, but it's still pretty cool that at least it's still somewhat of an action pose. Um, and I have him holding the billy clubs right now. Really love the figure. The red just really pops. The way he looked in show, the costume, everything. I know some people thought that maybe he was a little too skinny, not muscular enough or anything like that. And then look what happened when they gave the new figure, the She-Hulk one. It looked like he had a couple too many cheeseburgers. I think this figure looks perfect. I know he doesn't have a head sculpt, but I have no problems whatsoever with the way he looks here. This is when I think of Daredevil. I mean, even in the comics, I know the mustard color one he did in the comics. That was his first one, but in the animated series, for example, the '90s one with them with the Spider-Man one, he looked like this. I know maybe in the comics he's a little more stocky, but yeah, I mean, we all know this comes from Netflix. I do, the new show coming up, Born Again. I was tempted to wait it out, but I don't know. They haven't even announced the figure yet, and then by the time they might actually come out, 2026 might be around. I did see the costume to the new trailer, so I'll keep an eye out. I mean, if they announce it and it just it's a possibility I might sell it, but if it doesn't really look that much better than this, which to me this is already hard to top, so I guess we'll see. Maybe just for the head sculpt, which it'll be hard to pose them without the cowl on anyway. So, but yeah, let's unpack the box, see what it comes with, see what accessories maybe we might want to change out, and see what pose we might change them out. But for now, who knows if I can even come up with a pose that'll top this, because I'm pretty happy with this one. So yeah, we'll open up the box and see what we got. All right, so as far as the accessories concerned, yeah, you actually don't get that much with this figure. But again, at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what you can really include. There's this diorama. It says Daredevil Street View. It's all right. It does take up a decent amount of space, so I tried assembling it once and it just didn't vibe with me, especially with the kind of stand he comes with. I guess it just doesn't really make sense. Um, so I never got around to using it. You do get this battle damage head sculpt. Good blood effects on there. So probably when I do the poses with the Punisher, this will be a good one to install on there. And it really is unfortunate that we don't have a Kingpin. Hot Toys, what are you waiting for? You have to get one through So Toys. Boss Man, which I would get one already, but the white suit one, I think, has the yellowing problem that's more prevalent than the Hawaiian shirt one, but then I really don't want a Hawaiian shirt one. Two-fisted hands. And one gesture hand, open palm. It looks like this one's a little bit different. So pretty cool. We'll see what we can work with. Maybe I'll change out the hands, but kind of like the Billy Club look. And speaking of the Billy Club, you get one that's combined. Pretty cool. And then you get one that's this wired one. Focus, yep. So the only problem I see with this is it doesn't hold the pose. It just kind of dangles there. So it would have to be him holding both in two hands, so it'll look like a nunchuck. We can't really do a action pose with him throwing it to rappel himself to a building since it won't hold it. I know the She-Hulk one comes with better billy clubs, but yeah, that was when I was deciding whether to go with that one, weight or whatever, what have you. I wasn't gonna let the billy club decide it. I'm happy with what we got, and then the crotch grabber. So for now, yeah, let's change out the hands maybe, or change out the accessories and see what comes with it, see what kind of poses we can display them, and we'll go from there. Like I said, there's a chance I might just keep this pose. I really like this pose, but we'll see how he looks with the the wired one as well as the combined one. So we'll be right back. All right, so this one we got a pretty basic pose one. Pretty much him standing straight, and actually went ahead and put his billy clubs on his holster, and so one hand looking like he might reach for it, and a little head tilt to the side, so looking like he might be listening for what's going on, given that he does have a heightened sense of hearing. So that one's pretty cool. More like a museum pose or anything. From up front, maybe doesn't look as good. From the back, it's actually not too bad looking from the back. It's one of the, I wouldn't mind posing him that way either. It's not too bad. And then I think, but this one would probably look better at an angle like this. So pretty basic, nothing special, but I don't know. I think this figure just looks really wonderful. So whatever pose you end up deciding on, I think he'll look good, pretty good either way. So let's go ahead and change him up again and see what we got. All right, so this one I went ahead and changed out for the battle damage heads faceplate. Two-fisted hands, looking like he's down, listening for where the hit dackers are, and a little bit of knee bend. So he does look like he's leaning towards his right side as if he has some sort of injury. So again, not too dynamic, but it's still an action pose. So as I'm working with this, one thing I'm realizing is the suit is a bit restrictive. So I can't pose them in as dynamic poses as I want, like a Spider-Man or even the Punisher previous to this. I'm gonna see if I can rotate him and him see if he falls. Okay, cool. Excuse me. So yeah. Oh, there he goes. And as he did fall, unfortunately, but no damage done. Chalk that up for a blooper reel. So yeah, we will not rotate him. So I guess he'll have to be a stoic pose. Maybe head tilt to the left. So there we go. So that's pretty cool. I actually like that pose. I think he might look better with while holding the billy club actually. So that's pretty cool. I might put him in that pose. Another idea I had is him just on his knees. That's also pretty cool. Yeah, so even though the suit is a little bit restrictive, it's still, I think, articulation wise, it is a little restricted, but the suit and the look does carry a lot of what the figure is, the presence is, and it's still pretty good overall. Yeah, I'm actually now having a hard time on deciding which pose I want to leave him in. I kind of like this battle damage pose. Oh, I actually have an idea. I'm gonna pause it and see if we can do it. All right, so I think we may have a winner here. So this pose is meant to look a little more like he is does a lot of parkour, so it may look like he's hopping over the obstacle. And yeah, very dynamic. It's a very dynamic pose, and I kind of like it. Maybe we switch out the right hand to be holding the billy club. Wired or not wired? No. Yeah, let's switch out the right hand to make it look like he's holding the billy club and see how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out the right hand. So let's pause this. All right, so I think this is the winner. I love how dynamic this pose looks. Looks like he's either leaping over the obstacle with his billy club drawn, or maybe he's using that brick to pick himself up to get into the fight, or what have you be. leave that to your interpretation. So maybe tilt this a little bit this way, just so we can see that bloody damage a little more. And yeah, I think this is definitely the head sculpt we're going to go with. Or not head sculpt, but the pose. Let's move it a little bit closer. Yes, I am definitely a fan of this pose. This will be the pose I will be leaving in. So, yeah, yeah, I think I love it. I think we'll be leaving it, putting him on display using this pose. So, with that being decided, we can go ahead and move on to give him his scores. So for the look, no surprise to anyone, this is going to be a 10 for me. Costume looks great. The proportions look great. Colors, everything. I really love how this figure is. Accessories wise, bit limited. So no head sculpt, which to some I can see why it will be, a dock, and not a lot of hands too, fairly limited. And then the wiring of this, even if it's an older figure, this isn't really like a high technology accessory. So, accessory wise, I'd like the diorama. The billy clubs are limited, and you really don't get a lot for this figure. So, probably an 8, 7.5, 8. I'd probably lean towards 7.5. I'm not gonna let my fanhood get in the way of scoring this one properly. So definitely, I think a 7.5. But fun factor, unfortunately, even though I found a pose that I really really like, the suit is fairly restrictive. You don't get a lot, so also probably a 7.5 on fun factor. So a lot of this figure is getting carried by the look of the figure, which honestly doesn't surprise me. Um, do I still recommend it? Your call. It is an older figure. If you are able to wait for the new season of Daredevil Born Again to come out, and then wait till 2026, I'd say go ahead and wait. Um, I wanted a Daredevil. I'm a huge fan of, the Netflix version of the show. So I went ahead and picked this guy up. And so to me, this was much better than the one from She-Hulk. Not, the show, the She-Hulk, what you think of that series, notwithstanding, it's irrelevant. I mean, you're judging it by the Daredevil, the figure, and all that. And I think this one is vastly superior to the one that the She-Hulk one came out. So I recommend it if you're a fan of the show. It is a little bit hard to get. Um, I got mine from toysassemble.com. I'll link link their store on the description of this video and tag them. They're a really good store, so I highly recommend. If this one was actually not even in stock for them, I reached out and see if they can do a special order for me, and they did. They gave me a good price on it. So yeah, if you don't mind paying the premium and whatnot, to me it was worth it. Like I said, this is one of my top 5 figures of 2024 that I got. I know it didn't come out in 2024. um we'll see. If we'll see if I even sell it off, even if the Born Again figure is really good. I'm just I really love this figure. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, and let me know what you think. Which pose, or if you have any suggestions for a pose to put him in, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, collect what you enjoy and enjoy what you collect. Have a great rest of your week.